So in today's first aid video, I wanted to go over splinting. Primarily splinting of shoulder injuries, upper or lower arm injuries, as well as a collarbone injury. And what I'm talking about here is making a sling. There are these things out there called triangular bandages, and they are amazing for making slings out of. Aside from making slings, two of them can make a sling and a swath. So a swath is basically something that will hold the sling to the body. So after you have built the sling to support the arm, support the shoulder, support the collarbone, the swath will go all the way around the body and tied tight just to help keep it secure into the body. So if you're out there on the river and let's say you're doing some scouting and you fall into a rock, you stick your arm out, you injure your shoulder, or you fall and break your collarbone, or you're upside down in the water, a rock hits you in the collarbone, breaks it, you break your humerus. Honestly, if you break any bone above your wrist, you're going to want to do this form of splinting. And so I'm going to teach you how to do that here. And it's all pretty simple here. Your triangular bandage, super light, super easy to use. Packs down into this tiny little baggie here, weighs, I don't know, maybe an ounce. But really awesome tool here. So it does come with some safety pins too that you can use if you want to. But it's basically just a wide piece of fabric, and it does come out into a triangle when it's all opened up here. And building a sling out of it is super simple. You're going to start here in your corner, the top of your triangle, and you're going to tie a little knot right there. Okay, and this knot is going to create the back end of your sling, just like that. So now you have your end over here, your end over here, your end over here, and you have your tied end. So basically this tied end that you just made is going to be the pocket in which your elbow sits in. And what you're going to do is you're going to go over the top and around the back with that end, and then this front end is going to go right here, and you're going to tie these ends together, and you have created your sling here. Alright, so I already went over how to turn the triangular bandage into a sling, and now I'm going to kind of show you a little bit better by putting it on somebody else other than putting it on myself. And the reason that we're doing this is to stabilize the injury, right? So if we have a collarbone injury here, or a humerus injury here, or, you know, like I said before, just anything in the arm, you want to split this, and the reason that we're splinting it is to keep further injury from happening. The last thing you want to do is have a hurt shoulder, be walking to get out and fall and try to stick that arm out again and re-hurt the injury worse. Or if you have a broken humerus in here somewhere, you know, you don't want that moving around, you don't want those sharp bones in there moving. So that's why we do this sling and swath together here. And so as I went over before, we're going to take our corner piece here, and that's going to go right there in the elbow, right? Because that's what holds the elbow in place. The inside part of the inside half of the triangular bandage is going to go against the chest and up and around the neck, right? And then the outside part is going to come in here and go around that side of the neck. And you just want to hold this up here in kind of a natural position, and then you're going to tie them together here behind the neck. And so that's giving support and immobilizing his arm here. And what we would do if we had another triangular bandage here is we would keep it in a narrow strip, and we would tie it around the body right here just above the arm, and it would go all the way around, and you'd tie that behind the back here. But here in a second I'm going to teach you a trick with a life jacket on how to use a life jacket as a swath instead of another triangular bandage. So right now we're going to go over a little trick that I came up with here while trying to figure out these splinting abilities, and actually using a life jacket as the swath for the sling and the swath. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the sling into position for the most part to put on the patient here, and then I'm actually going to have him slide his arm through the inside of the jacket here. tie the sling into place. And so now his arm is being supported by the sling here. It's inside the jacket, and now what we can do is we can tighten down the jacket here. And now it's working as a sling and a swath, completely immobilizing the arm. So we can also actually pull off this sling and swath idea in the jacket if we're by ourselves for some reason, or if you don't have a triangular bandage to use, you can still kind of use it. It's not going to be the best thing ever, but the same pouch here, at least with the Astral Green jacket here. So you lift out this front pocket here, slide your arm in there. You want to get up to the wrist if you can. You know, you just want to be able to get enough of your arm into that kind of position there, and then tighten it down. This can work, like I said, without the sling and the swath. I mean, my arm isn't moving here unless I really want it to. So if I got to get up and hike out, if I got to do anything like that, this is what's going to keep my arm in the most stable position. Now, this isn't going to work if I have like a wrist injury or a fractured radius or ulna, because it is putting direct pressure on that, and it doesn't, you know, it's not the greatest thing ever. Depending on the hike, you could just leave it a little loose, and at least it's going to hold it there in place, but it's going to keep it elevated and safe, and it's going to keep you from using it on accident. One thing about using the jacket too is that if the reason you're using a sling is the collarbone, this strap is going to be on the collarbone, and it is not going to feel good. So I don't know if you can figure that out, or if you're just going to have to take the jacket off, figure out a sling, and then walk out. But I hope this helps. Just some interesting splinting ideas. This is really good for, like I said, any injury starting here going down to the wrist. And I'll go over some other stuff like a SAM splint on a later date that you could add in conjunction with the sling for like a wrist injury. But until next time, thank you.